Hi, I'm Kevin Tetz, working with LMC Truck to bring you some technical information and how-to videos that we hope will help you with your truck restoration project. In this video, we're going to be giving you some great options when it comes to replacing the wooden bed floor in your classic pickup. Now, LMC Truck offers multiple different complete bed kits for several different platforms, including every nut, bolt, and fastener that you could possibly need for your bed kit, as well as polished or unpolished bed strips. Now, the kits come to you in raw wood, and there's several different things that you need to do to prepare this wood for a finish. It all starts with surface prep, multiple different grits of sandpaper, possibly some sanding blocks, and you can follow that with traditional products that you can get from a hardware store or a home center. Now, to get the finish on my bedwood kit over here, I use professional products on top of the single-pack polyurethanes, which involve a professional matte finish clear, a catalyst, professional pneumatic spray equipment, and a large compressor to be able to handle the job. So that's a lot of work. It looks great. It's traditional wood, but there's things you need to do, like sealing the end grain, sealing the sides and the back sides of the boards to make your boards as moisture-proof as possible. Now, all told, to get this finish, I've got about 40 hours involved in the labor, prep, and application of the coatings on this. That's not including the cure times and the dry times in between the steps. So if you don't want to go down this road, we want to show you a modern alternative to a traditional bedwood floor system. Frank here was involved in the development of this system. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, what we've done here is we've created an aluminum bedwood floor system. It's designed to be waterproof, chemical-proof, stain-proof, answers a lot of questions about the traditional bedwood floor systems that are now available.
There's several different colors here. Tell us more about options.
Well, what we have here are 3 color variations of a traditional oak floor, very common for today's use. Start with a lighter, work into the middle range, and then a darker. Also, we offer an American walnut, which is very popular among a lot of builders with the barnwood look.
Speaking of the barnwood look, all of these finishes are incredibly accurate. They look just like wood. How did you get this?
We're actually the only company that has ever digitized true wood grain. So these are actual recreations of bedwood. They are designed specifically to be used with one another, and they're all from the same tree.
We've got polished stainless strips and uncoated aluminum bed strips.
The polished stainless is ready to use right out of the box, while the aluminum extrusion is going to require either painting or powder coating before you install it.
Now, the laminated boards are finished and ready to install right out of the box using the provided stainless steel hardware. So all you need is a few short hours and some simple hand tools to install. You're going to need a socket set. We recommend a quarter drive set because the fasteners are small and don't require a whole lot of torque. You need an electric drill and some drill bits, some sort of a sharp trimming tool. Some markers come in handy, as well as a measuring tape. And that's about it. The first step is to lay the boards out like they're going to sit in the bed. Now, all of the board's wood grain is sampled from the same tree, so you're going to get a replication of the authentic cut lumber as it comes off the mill. That way, you can align the patterns of the grain the way it looks best to you. Once you've established your pattern, you can mark the boards in order and set them off to the side. The original board mounting holes in the cross braces are not used, since the new boards are different widths. Redrilling them is pretty straightforward.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the center of the cross seals. We're going to re-drill the cross seals for the pattern of our bed floor, because we are not stuck to anything that Chevrolet actually did in the day. So we're going to find true center, and we do that by measuring both sides, and I'm making a mark at 36 inches. The center of that mark is which would be the center of the cross seal. So now we have the exact center of what will be the truck. Our center strips land at every 8 7/16 inches, so we're going to go half of 8 7/16, which would be 4 7/32 from the true center. So if we find true center and go 4 7/32, right there. Now we get to go 8 7/16 from that mark all the way out. So we're going to go 8 7/16 to a fresh mark. We can now eliminate that, and that's our first 2 holes.
Now we need to establish a center line with all of the cross members. Trouble is some of them are floating, so dropping the carriage bolt down from the outside on both sides of the bed locks in the cross members at the factory position, and this allows a common center point for the drilling that we have to do on the cross members themselves for the new bolt locations. Now we can remove the very front cross brace and show you how to save a bunch of time marking your bolt locations. The front cross member removed, set beside the rear one that Frank measured. Now we make sure the ends are the same, and now it's just a simple matter of transferring the measurements from the rear to the front cross member, tracing the lines out to establish where we need to drill the new holes.
So now that that's complete, we'll reinstall the 2 floating cross members and lay a straight edge between them, complete the lines, and drill all the holes.
Thanks, sir. Now, every kit comes with at least one of these underfloor supports, and it's designed to give the bed boards extra support between this large span of factory cross members that spreads over the wheelhouse like this. So we're going to put this into place, transfer our marks on this, and drill this the same as the OE cross members. Now, just in case you don't have an 8-foot straight edge on hand, the center bed strips work perfectly for marking out and transferring where the new holes get drilled. I want to pass on a great tech tip to keep you from breaking off small diameter drill bits. A lot of times when you've got something like this, an 1/8" bit, and you're drilling through single wall steel, well, when it breaks through, sometimes your drill is not at the perfect 90-degree angle, and you put pressure on the bit, break it in half. Here's a way to keep that from happening. Use a piece of small diameter fuel line or vacuum tube, and it, as you can see, acts like a depth gauge, as well as when you drill through, once you punch through, the tubing keeps your bit from going in past the point to where it can twist off, and it's very simple. It doesn't cost any money, no more broken drill bits. When you're drilling these holes, make sure that your fastener head got a little bit of wiggle room this way, and also make sure your wires are out of the way at the rear cross member. Follow our 1/8" pilot hole with a 5/16 bit. Using the buddy method with 2 drills, we chase the pilot holes with the larger drill bit to save time. And here's another tip. Use some lightweight plywood over the frame rails to make it a little safer to work inside the bed. We've transferred the marks on the top of the aluminum cross brace to the back side and are drilling holes in the bolt channel from the bottom with the 1/8" bit, where we can make sure they're centered in the extrusion slot. We'll drill the 1/8 inch pilot hole from the bottom side, then follow with the 5/16 hole with the piece flipped over. Now we can mark the location of the fasteners that go inside the channel. And on this one, you want to make a special mark because of the floating support member. So we're putting 2 marks there. That way we can load this easily. And do multiples at one time. Here's a great tip for loading your hardware into the channel. Use a screwdriver and gently push the base rather than grabbing the threaded part, because it always hangs up on you. The screwdriver pushes it right where you need it to be quickly and easily. Due to variances in the factory carriage bolt locations on the sideboards, none of the holes are pre-drilled. You'll need to place the 4 boards into their spot, mark the holes from the top of the bed sides through the carriage bolt holes, and then drill them to the perfect location of your truck, starting with an 1/8 inch pilot hole, then a 7/16 inch bit to leave some adjustment room. Keep in mind, some holes may have to be drilled slightly larger to allow the carriage bolt's square shoulder to slip down into the board, which will allow the carriage bolt to sit flush with the sheet metal. A rubber gasket is used everywhere that the vinyl laminate comes into contact with the metal of the bedside. The 4 corner boards get set in place first and a carriage bolt dropped in to locate them. Then, those are followed by the second boards on each side. These are easy to identify with the relief for the wheelhouse, and they only go in one way, making it even simpler. Here's where labeling your boards saves you a little time. Proper layout is simple and fast. The center strips are installed with the center 2 first, then working your way outward towards the sides. Even though we've marked the bolt locations, it can be a bit of a challenge to find the perfect spot. It just takes a little patience to drop the bolts through the cross members. With the center strip bolts dropped through the cross braces, loosely thread on the locking nuts that are provided in the kit. Once all your bolts are through, tighten them finger tight for now. Like we said earlier, a gasket gets placed between the bed sides and the boards to protect the wood grain. The wheelhouse gets a 3-piece gasket that interlocks and easily slides into place. Yep. Good. Then the last center strips get set into place. There's a channel on the center strip that sits on the edge of each board. This is easy to feel, but important that the strips ride in this groove before they get tightened down.
Good?
Yeah, looks really good. A drift tool or even a screwdriver helps you adjust the pre-drilled holes in the boards so you can drop a carriage bolt in them. Keep in mind, every truck is different. You may have to spend some time on alignment due to variances in these trucks. That just goes along with vintage vehicles. You've got the option to have the front and rear outer center strips underneath or on top of the wheelhouses. We chose underneath, so we placed them where they needed to be, drilled the holes for the carriage bolts. These bed floors look great. They weigh 1/3 of the traditional wood and won't expand and contract like wood with temperature and humidity. They're color fast, will last a lifetime in the sun, and unlike traditional wood finishes or paint, they are resistant to fuel and other chemicals. Man, that is beautiful. And Frank, thanks for all your help, man.
You're welcome.
We hope this video has shown you that there's a great looking alternative to a traditional bedwood flooring system that not only gives you multiple color choices, but it saves you about 100 pounds of weight off the back of the truck and tons of time because it comes ready to install right out of the box. I'm Kevin Tetz. Thanks for watching.